You got like 3 guys coming. Oh, killed it. I threw a nade and didn't get them. Nope. Covering on your left side.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is T-Space, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Tee, where you, the viewers, ask me a question relative to Battlefield 3 or off the topic of Battlefield 3. Today, I'm going to be starting off with a question by Voodoo, but yes, I am sick. I wanted to put this episode out on Sunday, but I was just too sick to do it. Today's Monday, and I feel a lot better, even though my voice sounds a little deeper and kind of a little more raspy. But anyhow, today's episode, I'm going to be starting off with Voodoo's question, and they ask, I hope you don't mind personal questions, but what is your status on girlfriends? Do you have one? If not, why, and what is your history of dating? And the most important, how should she look like, how should she act, and how should she get your attention? So overall, I am single right now. I do not have a girlfriend. I felt that right now, or I feel right now, that if I get a girlfriend, I would kind of half-ass it in a way, because I'm just too focused on other things to truly commit to a relationship and, you know, be, I guess, in a relationship. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to get into a relationship. It's just that when I do get into a relationship, I'd like to put like all my effort into it, not just kind of put it on the sideline and say, yeah, I have a girlfriend, whatever, kind of ordeal. I kind of want to have one to actually have one, not just to have one just to say I do have one. If that makes sense. Anyhow, my dating history, I wouldn't really say I'm a stud, but I wouldn't really say I'm one of those guys that kind of sat in the corner waiting, I don't know, countless amount of months or whatever, thinking about that one girl, you know, trying to psych myself up to ask her out, because overall I really don't feel like I have a hard time talking to girls. I treat girls as if they were any other person. It's not a big deal whether or not I have a crush on this girl or not. I just go up and talk to them. If I need to talk to this girl, I do it. I usually find a common interest or a common ground, whether that be homework situations, life experience, or just something that happened that we all would know about. And, you know, I'd build the conversation off of that. And overall, it just became easy to me. I guess moving on to the other questions, how should she look like, how should she act, and how would she get my attention, or how would she attract me to her? So the first one, I don't know, I feel like she has to have, she has to look cute in a way. I mean, in a way, Jesus. She has to, I don't really want to have one of those super hot girlfriends just for the fact that I'd feel everyone would be staring at her most of the time, and I would just feel like I'm an accessory in a way. So I don't like that. I like to have, or I would like to have a cute girlfriend that would be smart, funny. She would, I mean, it's all the cliche kind of stuff, smart, funny, kind, and whatever. But I mean, her personality has to be something that you don't really come across a lot. I personally am one of those people who likes to not hold grudges. Actually, I physically cannot hold a grudge because it's just too hard for me. It eats away at my well-being, and overall it just makes me upset that I'm holding a grudge against the person. So I think my longest grudge is about a day. That's about a day. That's how long I've been mad at someone. That's like the longest I've been mad at someone. And the reason being is because like thinking back onto that argument that I had with that one person, I actually think about whether or not this is going to affect me for the rest of my life. And overall, most of the time, it doesn't, you know, that never happens. So I don't feel like I need to be mad at this person for more than about a day, because the next day I feel like I should be completely refreshed, everything should be completely normal, going back to the way it was, and overall everyone should be happy and, you know, whatever. So that's how I feel about, you know, my personality, and that's what I want my girlfriend to have. I want my girlfriend to be the kind of person that's very forgiving, in the sense that every argument that we have, because I know we are going to have arguments, every argument that we have shouldn't be taken personally, but it shouldn't be neglected. It should be acknowledged to the point where, you know, it was an argument and we went through it, but overall it shouldn't be taken so personally that it changes our views on each other. So that's the kind of personality that I want her to have. And overall, I don't want her to be, or I guess moving on to the last question, overall, if she had to attract me to her or whatever, I don't know. I mean, there isn't a specific thing that you would have to necessarily do to get my attention. If you said hi, then I would say hi back. I mean, that's pretty much attention enough, right? I mean, I'm not saying you have to, like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but I'm not saying that a girl would have to dress up in like a really slutty outfit for me to get, or for her, or for me to, you know, I guess, look towards her in a way. I mean, you don't have, I mean, a girl wouldn't have to go that far, if that makes sense. I mean, just, I don't know, represent yourself. I know that's super cliche, but I mean, it's simple. Just represent yourself, and I will notice you. I mean, it's not that hard. Okay, anyhow, hopefully that answers your question, Voodoo. Moving on to the next question. It comes from a guy named, or a person named Android Geek 7, and they ask, do you go to university/college? And if you do, what are you studying? Right now, I am going to college, and I am studying for communications. I feel that communications is something that I really feel like I can actually do well in. Hence is why I'm doing YouTube. I'm communicating with people. I have no idea who they are. I've never met them in face-to-face events or whatever. I kind of just know you guys off of the internet. I don't even know that much about you, to be honest. But overall, you know, YouTube in a way it has been aiding me in my communication skills, both verbally and I guess, well, actually mainly it's just verbally, because yeah. So mainly verbally, because I want to practice the way I get my point across, talk about, you know, what I want to do in I guess minimal amount of words as possible, so you guys get the point. Hopefully I'm doing that correctly. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Hopefully I'm not rambling too much as I am right now. So hopefully that answered your question. Yeah. All right, moving on, we have Ron, and he asks a question that is very controversial. He's talking about, I'm assuming he's talking about the Israel bombing on, I think it's Israel bombing Gaza or other way around. You know, I'm really not good with foreign events, but I did read a little bit about it when I didn't have enough time, or when I had enough time to, you know, search up this topic. I am apologizing beforehand if I get any of my facts mixed up, but overall I feel that I mean, this is kind of a very childish kind of attitude towards these situations, but when it comes down to bombings, in my opinion, I don't feel like it's necessarily needed to bomb a specific spot in order to prove a point. I don't understand that fact in a way. I mean, if this is not the Israel situation that you want me to talk about, I'm sorry, but this is the one that I read up about. Hopefully this is it. I mean, I think it happened like 3 months ago, or maybe I'm completely wrong. But anyhow, I mean, if people want to, I guess, have confrontations, I've been thinking about this a lot. So instead of actually having real wars, given that a lot of games simulate wars, I think it'd be fucking awesome. Instead of actually having a war, you would just battle it on like a game. Like, how awesome would that be? Like, countries would have their own specific teams, and if they wanted to say, I wanted to be a state, and, you know, the people that are controlling them, like, they say no, then they'd go into like a I don't know, a best of 15 game in any game that they had, and they would play it out, they duke it out, and whoever would win would, you know, determine the outcome of what was, you know, the topic, whether or not they're being a state or whatnot. And, you know, that would just save a lot of lives and no bloodshed and all that bullshit. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's unnecessary. Maybe I answered this question wrong, but then again, I have minimal. Actually, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking out my ass right now. So I'm sorry I can't really answer your question to the fullest, but I do hope that everything goes well over there in Israel. Hopefully nothing else bad does come to you guys. And, you know, I don't know. I just don't feel like this stuff should be happening. I mean, come on, guys. 2013, right? All right, moving on, we have a guy named East. So he asks, do I always play with a bolt-action sniper rifle in every FPS game? To tell you the truth, I would have to say yes, I do. But I wouldn't say that every FPS game I've played the sniper class solely, if that makes sense. I didn't make the sniper class my primary class in every single FPS that I've played. I mean, the majority of the FPS that I've played, I've mainly used sniper rifles, but not all of them necessarily. I didn't necessarily put the sniper class as my number one class to use. I guess one situation was Counter-Strike. Another situation was a Counter-Strike clone in a way. It was called Alliance of Valiant Arms. It's a free-to-play game. If you guys haven't tried it out, I would say you should try it out. It's pretty fun if you're just wanting a break from Battlefield 3, but then you don't want to get into Counter-Strike. It's kind of like an easier version of Counter-Strike. Overall, it's still challenging, and overall, I think it's still pretty fun. But yes, I guess you could say I play sniper class in pretty much every FPS game that I own, and I enjoy it. All right, moving on. We have a guy named Wesley, and he says, what clothes do you like more? The ones in Battlefield Bad Company 2 or the ones in Battlefield 3? And he says for the recon class only. I personally, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I mean, the sniper class in Bad Company 2, it had a bunch of camo, and well, it was pretty much a ghillie suit, right? And overall, it made you harder to see, and I guess you blended into the environment more and whatnot. Overall, I'm a guy that doesn't really like all those aspects that make games overly complicated to the point where it's actually too complicated for competitive play in a way. I mean, shadows and stuff like that, those are fine, but I mean, when it comes down to people camping in like bushes, and if they're not moving then you can't see them, I mean, that's kind of silly. I don't know. I mean, so in a way, I like the skins for Battlefield 3 just because they don't feel like they cater towards campers in a way, but then at the same time, I do like I do like how they looked in Bad Company 2, and they just looked more more detailed in a way. I mean, in Battlefield 3, they kind of look kind of sloppy. They kind of look like they're bandits. I mean, they always have something covering their face. You don't ever see like the entire face of a sniper. It's usually covered up, and the only things that you can see are, of course, their eyes. So I don't know. I mean, I like both. I mean, if I had to pick, I would just be something. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe he should have like one of those
Are you kidding me?
Crocodile Dundee hats, you know what I mean? One of those hats. That'd be pretty cool. I have no idea, but hopefully I answered your question. Alright, and moving on to the last question comes from Knut. I think I said that correctly. And he asks, how do I deal with suppression? So suppression is probably the stupidest thing in the game, and I'm going to leave it on that because I don't want to get into a huge debate because a lot of people have done it before, and I'm pretty sure you guys know my viewpoints on suppression. But anyhow, the way I get rid of suppression is pretty simple. I mean, I just go behind cover, given DICE is forcing me to do that because I guess DICE thinks they know best, except for they don't. But anyhow, I mean, there's really no method that you can do to get rid of suppression, faster or quicker or whatever, because it's just not how the mechanic works. You get suppressed, and well, then that kind of sucks. I mean, there's nothing you could do about it. You just have to, I guess, survive. Usually when I get suppressed, I just run away. I mean, there's really no point for me to stay there and shoot because my one and only shot will probably deviate from where I'm actually shooting. If I don't have enough time to run away, I usually take my first shot and then run. I don't know why, I just kind of do that. But overall, I mean, that's just what I do. And I really wish there was a way you can just, completely just say, I'm just going to shake my head or wipe the tears from my eyes and say I'm good to go. But of course you can't do that. So, I mean, I wish I could say that you could do that, but you can't. So that pretty much wraps up today's episode. Oh, wait, there is one more question I almost forgot. It's a very simple question. It comes from East again, and he asks, are you Asian? Apple commented on one of his videos. So yes, I am Asian. I probably don't sound like it at all. I'm pretty sure most of you guys thought I was white. A lot of my friends on YouTube or in-game thought I was white, and that came to a huge surprise to me. But overall, yeah, I am Asian. Hopefully that doesn't change your viewpoints on whether or not you guys like my work or whatever. But yeah, so cool. But anyhow, that wraps up today's episode of Off the Tee. If you guys want to send me a personal question or a question just for this episode, go ahead and leave me a personal message titled Off the Tee. Make sure it is titled Off the Tee, because if it's not, then it makes it a little more difficult for me to actually find your questions. But overall, if you do send me a question, it will be answered in the next episode. So don't think that, if I send in a question, you'll never answer it. And also, it could be as stupid as you want. They don't have to be super in-depth as some of these questions were today. But overall, they could just be as simple as, do you like the color blue? Or do you like cupcakes? Or something like that. Something simple. I mean, it doesn't really matter what question it is as long as it's a question. But always, I hope you guys did enjoy this gameplay. It was a squad rush gameplay that I played with X-Pac, and overall we had a great time. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Hopefully you enjoyed the answers and commentary. But like always, my name is T-Space, and I will catch you guys later.